Now for a bit of better news, because if you guys didn't watch my last video as a Cowboys fan, I genuinely want to kill myself. I think I just have to say it again because there's no way that Jerry Jones still to this day. I made that video I think 2 days ago. Micah still hasn't gotten a contract. But whatever, we're not gonna sit here and talk about, you know what I'm saying, sad news. Terry Bridgewater actually just signed a contract with the Buccaneers so he can play alongside Baker Mayfield. This is after, if you guys didn't know, him getting suspended from his coaching job in Miami because of him being basically a good coach. No, he didn't do anything wrong or cheat or anything. I mean, you could consider it cheating. You know, he is rich or wealthy, you could say, because he did play in the NFL. And he was suspended for giving or providing impermissible benefits to his players, such as Uber rides, paying for their meals, paying for their bus rides and such. And what's crazy was that it wasn't like I don't know if you guys know, the UIL is kind of like what runs the sports department in Texas. I don't know what it is in Florida, but it was actually the team that suspended Terry. Now, I don't think we know too much about that, but at the same time, your own team suspending you for helping the players, you know, with all the resources that you have, it is kind of scummy. He was quoted saying the suspension came from NMW, the name of the school, and it's impossible to suspend someone who doesn't work for you. So if I'm suspended from MNW, I'm free to go to another school of my choice, but in all caps, I'm not going anywhere. And if it comes to it, I will volunteer from the bleachers like I used to in 2018 and 2019 when no one had a problem. I don't know. It just seems like some sort of a jealousy issue, definitely in the interior of that school. Some believe that the suspension stemmed from a post that Bridgewater posted on Facebook. In the post, Bridgewater revealed, like I said earlier, that he was covering Uber rides, meals, and recovery services for his players last season. And then he was also asking fans to donate and cover those expenses this year so they wouldn't have to come directly from his pocket. This isn't nothing new. Like every school that I've ever played for, they all had booster clubs. So, you know, it's like schools generally do raise money and spend it on the kids. So I don't know where the issue stemmed from. Maybe it was because it was from his own pocket and he was the coach. But personally, I've had coaches that have, you know, put forth their own pockets for the team. Supposedly, this drew attention from Florida High School Athletic Association. Like I was saying earlier, the UIL, basically in Texas. I'm assuming FHSAA is what they have over there in Florida, where Kelvin Richardson told rivals those allegations were sent to Miami Northwestern and that the FHSAA were working to gain more information. Another assumption that I have was that they suspended the coach, or they suspended Bridgewater because of the fact that I don't think they wanted to get suspended for a year. So if they just suspend the coach, then I'm assuming they wouldn't suspend the team from playing next year. He did just lead the team to a state championship. So let's hope, you know, amidst this whole NFL contract that we're talking about right now, that he is able to return to his coaching job, because if you haven't seen the clips of him coaching, it seems like he's very passionate about it. Of course, that leads us to where we're at now. Terry Bridgewater finally being back in the NFL after a couple of years. Never mind, I'm stand corrected. He did join the Detroit Lions last season after leading his team to a state title. I forgot that he had signed for the Detroit Lions. And he did go in for Jared Goff in one of those games as well when he went out, I think, for a hand injury. The Buccaneers are currently trying to seek their 5th consecutive NFC South title. So in addition of a competent QB in the back room behind Baker Mayfield, in case Baker ever, you know, ends up going down for a game or two, and you know what I'm saying, it does help because the NFL QB room that they have is a bit crowded, but it's also crowded with inexperience. They currently got behind Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask, Michael Pratt, and Connor Bazelak. Kyle Trask is a young QB that hasn't really played in much. He hasn't had any time to shine whatsoever. He has come in for a couple of games, but nothing too sincere. Michael Pratt is also only 23 years old, so he's a very, very young prospect, only playing in 1 year and has not played a game whatsoever. And then Connor Bazelak doesn't even have any information on him. So that QB room does seem like it's filled, but it isn't filled with any talent whatsoever. No offense to these QBs right here. You know, they're talented enough to be in the NFL, but not talented enough to where if the Baker Mayfield does go down, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are okay. So this is definitely a good addition to the team. And props to Terry Bridgewater for staying in shape to just bounce in and out of the NFL, especially when these teams need a backup QB. You know, if we didn't have Joe Milton, Cowboys could use somebody like Terry Bridgewater to come in whenever Dak Prescott decides to, you know what I'm saying, break his leg again or something. And if you guys aren't too familiar with Terry Bridgewater, I'm going to just assume that you're a youngin'. Him and Adrian Peterson used to be something special. I'm going to just highlight his best season, his 2015 season, where he did go all pro, or excuse me, make it to the Pro Bowl. He led his team to an 11-5 record and a divisional title. He doesn't really throw for much touchdowns, being more of a mobile QB, as well as, you know what I'm saying, leading his team in the backfield. He threw for 3,231 yards and 14 touchdowns with his additional 3 rushing TDs. He's very gifted at throwing at the run, notably with his highest adjusted completion percentage in the league that year at 79.3%. So basically, when he's on the run, he's going to go throw you a dot. Along with his team success, he is known for being a game manager, you know, being a strong passer. In the Vikings offense heavily relied on Adrian Peterson running. So also having a QB that's competent and that you don't have to rely on Peterson as much did help the Minnesota Vikings a lot. He isn't the biggest passer, but his decision making is pretty notable. He made very good decision making and not throwing too many interceptions. He did lack an ability to make tough throws or deeper throws that other QBs were able to make, but that just really wasn't his style of play. But then the following year in 2016, unfortunately, Terry Bridgewater would have an almost career-ending injury as he fell victim to an ACL tear in 2016. As in August 30th, 2016, during training camp, he dislocated his knee and completely tore his ACL along with other structural damage. It was so bad that he could have actually gotten his leg amputated. Thank God that he didn't get his leg amputated, but that would have been really, really unfortunate. He had to undergo multi-ligament reconstruction and surgery and missed the entire 2016 season. When he came back, he just really didn't look like himself. He's also had a number of other injuries, as in 2020, he sustained a grade 2 MCL sprain, which caused him to miss 1 game. In 2021, Bridgewater suffered a concussion during the Broncos' Week 15 loss and was ruled out for the remainder of the season. And in 2022, Bridgewater endured another concussion. So I guess he just needs to protect his head because he's having a whole lot of concussions. Despite these setbacks, Bridgewater has repeatedly returned to the field, demonstrating remarkable resilience and determination. He even earned a starting role with the New Orleans Saints in 2019 while Drew Brees was injured, after retiring briefly to coach high school football, leading his team to a state championship. Bridgewater returned to the NFL and then signed with the Detroit Lions. Of course, that ended, and now he re-signed with the Buccaneers. Or re-signed with the NFL, but signed with the Buccaneers to play alongside Baker Mayfield. But yeah, guys, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think this is a good decision for Terry Bridgewater? Personally, I believe it is. And it is also a good decision from the Buccaneers back GM, because, you know, that QB room was looking a little tight. And now with some experience, someone that's actually played a notable amount, you know, they won't have that anxiety that if Baker Mayfield does go down, their season is over. But please subscribe, guys. Twin Beams loves all of you guys, and I'm see you guys in the next video. Please subscribe, please comment, drive up that algorithm, and let me know what you guys think of the Buccaneers next season. You guys think they're going to make it all the way into the playoffs once again, as they've done for the last 4 years. And I'm going to see you guys later. Bye-bye.